The man was escorted into the prison, but surprisingly, he broke into a smile. He noticed there were no towering walls surrounding the place, and the guards were few and far between. Yet oddly enough, all the inmates were hard at work, and not a single one attempted to escape. While he was puzzling over this, the warden slowly began to explain. This prison never relied on violence to maintain order, but rather on the collar around each prisoner's neck. If you thought it was just for show, you'd be dead wrong. Every inmate was fitted with a collar and randomly paired with another prisoner through the system. The moment the distance between the two exceeded 10 meters, the collars would immediately detonate. To prove his point, the warden demonstrated with 2 dummies. One was secured to a vehicle that gradually drove away while the other remained stationary. As the distance grew, there was a sudden boom. The collars exploded instantly. No wonder nobody dared to escape. Breaking out was basically suicide. Still, a thought crossed Mike's mind. What if 2 people escaped together? Could they make it out alive? But the warden's next words completely shattered his hopes. Since the pairing was totally random, nobody knew who their partner was. Worse yet, there was a white line painted on the ground outside the prison perimeter. The moment anyone crossed that line, the system would register the distance limit as exceeded, and the collars would blow. After hearing this, all the new inmates fell silent, abandoning any hopes of getting lucky. The staff then proceeded to collar them one by one, activating the devices with infrared scanners. From that moment on, every prisoner understood. Staying put was the only way to stay alive, and any escape attempt was a one-way ticket to death. Yet on his very first day, the warden summoned Mike privately, offering to remove his collar. Mike was stunned. Where was this coming from? Sure enough, the warden revealed his conditions. Turns out, Mike used to be an electrical engineer. A few days earlier, he, his girlfriend, and his buddy John had broken into a bank and stolen $50 million worth of diamonds. After the heist, they changed into police uniforms, planning to blend in and slip out unnoticed. But the real cops showed up just in time, blocking their escape route. The 3 thought their disguises would fool everyone, but they slipped up, triggering an intense shootout. In the chaos, Mike seized a police car and took off with the diamonds. He later met up with John and his girlfriend at their agreed location as planned. What he didn't expect was that his girlfriend had already betrayed him, conspiring with John to kill him and keep the diamonds for themselves. Lucky for him, Mike had seen it coming and hidden the diamonds beforehand. The warden had caught wind of this and proposed a deal. Hand over the diamonds, and the collar comes off. Otherwise, life in prison would be hell. But even facing these threats, Mike wouldn't budge. He knew full well that even if he gave up the diamonds, the warden wouldn't let him go. His suspicions proved right. At 3 in the morning, the warden personally led a search of his cell, discovering a box of contraband under Mike's bed. In reality, it was a setup orchestrated by the prison boss. Before Mike could protest, he was dragged to solitary confinement. In the center of that cell sat a cold metal water tank. Mike was forced inside, submerged completely in water, with the lid locked tight above him. The next day, the warden figured he'd crack and came to ask about the diamonds himself. He expected to find a broken man, but instead found Mike lounging in the water, calm as could be, like he was enjoying a nice bath.
You must like it in there.
The warden wasn't about to let this slide. He ordered the prison kingpin to personally take care of Mike. Sure enough, before long, Mike was tortured to within an inch of his life. But no matter how they pressed him, he kept his mouth shut about the diamonds. Out of options, the warden had to let him go for the time being. Even after escaping that ordeal, Mike's days were still rough. The Kingpin's crew hassled him everywhere. Someone deliberately tripped him in the hallway, making him look like a fool. Unfortunately, the person who got splattered with food that time happened to be the Kingpin himself. The Kingpin already had it out for Mike, and now he took the opportunity to humiliate him thoroughly. Luckily, the guards showed up in time to separate them. In this prison, there were 2 people you absolutely didn't mess with. One was the warden, the other was the Kingpin, and Mike had managed to piss off both. Seeing this, the other inmates kept their distance, afraid of getting caught in the crossfire. Just when everyone was avoiding him like the plague, a female prisoner showed an unusual interest in Mike. She kept finding excuses to get close to him. One day, Lisa snuck up behind him when no one was looking and whispered that she had a secret that would shock everyone. After saying this, she headed toward the break room. Mike initially thought she had ulterior motives, but Lisa surprisingly told him she knew who he was paired with.
You're my wedlock partner.
Bullshit, how would you know?
Lisa claimed that she and Mike's collars were a matched set, but Mike thought she was talking nonsense. Such a reckless guess. If anyone found out, they'd both be dead, but Lisa didn't give up. Instead, she kept showing up around Mike, getting him into plenty of trouble. This time, even the Kingpin noticed her. The Kingpin had his eye on Lisa, but she couldn't care less about him. When he saw how close Lisa and Mike were getting, he lost it and punched Mike in the face. The guards quickly broke up the fight. The guard said coldly, "Want to fight? Take it outside." So, with all the inmates watching, the 2 were led to the prison yard. Mike was no match for the Kingpin and was knocked down in just a few blows. The Kingpin smugly declared victory, then turned toward Lisa with a greedy grin. At this critical moment, Mike suddenly grabbed a stick from the ground and jammed it into the Kingpin's collar, twisting hard. With a sharp crack, the collar was damaged, and a piercing alarm immediately went off. The Kingpin's face went white. He realized too late that damaging the collar would also trigger an explosion. The crowd erupted in chaos, scattering in all directions. Making matters worse, his lackey's collar also started beeping. The two struggled desperately but had nowhere to run. In front of everyone, they were blown to bits. The warden immediately ordered an ambulance to take the severely injured Mike to the hospital. But just as they were loading him into the vehicle, Lisa suddenly jumped into the driver's seat and floored it, driving the ambulance away. Mike's heart sank. This crazy woman was actually going through with it. The moment the ambulance crossed the prison's white line, Mike thought he was done for. But surprisingly, the collars made no sound and didn't explode. Only then did he realize their collars really were paired. Just as they caught their breath, prison guards were already in pursuit. Lisa panicked and drove straight down a hillside, crashing into a ditch. Luckily, the area was remote, and after crawling out, they managed to lose their pursuers. Meanwhile, two unexpected visitors appeared in the warden's office: Mike's girlfriend and John. The truth was, they'd been secretly working with the warden all along. Mike's escape was actually orchestrated by them, deliberately letting him go to track down the diamonds. And Mike had no idea. After a day on the run, Mike and Lisa hid in a remote motel. Mike used a screwdriver to take apart the collar. With his electrical engineering expertise, he quickly discovered the device wasn't foolproof. Given enough time, he could completely disable it. What he didn't know was that the motel owner had seen their wanted report on TV and immediately called the cops. The next morning, they woke up surrounded by armed police. With no way out, they had no choice but to surrender. But just at this life or death moment, gunshots rang out from nowhere, and the officers started dropping one by one. Amid the chaos, Mike and Lisa quickly escaped, never imagining that their saviors were Mike's girlfriend and John. After their close call, they planned to leave by bus. Mike sent Lisa to wait in line while he went to buy tickets. Just then, a police car slowly approached Lisa. In desperation, she ducked into the bus's luggage compartment, accidentally separating from Mike. Mike had just left the ticket office when he saw someone dressed almost exactly like Lisa board the bus ahead. He was about to catch up when he noticed two guards at the door. With no choice, he boarded the bus behind it and urged the driver to follow closely. He had no idea Lisa was actually hiding in the luggage compartment of his bus. When the front bus stopped, Mike rushed aboard and Lisa saw him from the luggage compartment. So while one searched frantically in the front bus, the other quietly followed in the rear. Soon their collars started beeping warnings. Just when Mike thought he'd found Lisa, he discovered it was a stranger. Fortunately, the buses reached their stop in time, keeping them within range, and the collar alarm stopped. After surviving one close call after another, their feelings for each other grew stronger. But Lisa often seemed melancholy, like she had something to tell Mike, though he always cut her off. Mike was full of hope, dreaming of getting the diamonds and running away together. Just as he was lost in fantasy, a car pulled up. It was Mike's buddy Paul. He'd been keeping the $50 million diamonds safe. The three drove to a factory where Paul kept his promise and retrieved the diamonds from the second floor. But suddenly, gunshots rang out and Paul fell. Only then did Mike realize his girlfriend and John had been following them. He couldn't figure out how they'd been tracked until his girlfriend sneered that he still didn't get it. Lisa knowing about the paired collars was all part of the trap set by the warden and them. Turns out Lisa, who seemed like a ride-or-die friend, had been feeding them information all along. In just a few days, Mike had been betrayed twice. As he faced off against them with the briefcase, Lisa suddenly triggered a mechanism, and hundreds of pounds of sand poured down, crushing John. Taking advantage of the chaos, Mike fled. After a wild chase, both Mike and John tumbled into a container. Mike grabbed John and used him as a hostage, threatening his girlfriend to let them go. Unexpectedly, she didn't hesitate. She shot John dead on the spot. With Lisa's help, Mike finally got away, driving off from the site. But the collar around his neck still posed a deadly threat. While driving, he gave Lisa instructions on how to operate, and together they successfully defused the bomb. After escaping danger, instead of running immediately, they deliberately exposed their location to lure in his girlfriend and the warden. The diamonds were then handed over, with the warden and the girlfriend each getting half. But after getting the diamonds, they planned to kill Mike and Lisa to tie up loose ends. The girlfriend decisively pressed the collar remote, but unexpectedly, it was the warden who died. Soon after, she was blown to pieces too. Turns out Mike had planned ahead, secretly planting explosives in their briefcases.